What's happening, everyone? TomGorian here, and welcome to F1 23. The Champions Edition of F1 23 is now out on all platforms, and now I can make all the content that I want to make on this game. Today we are going to be beginning our driver career mode as we pursue greatness of trying to win a Formula 1 World Championship in a Formula 1 team. I haven't done a driver career mode on this game since F1 2019, so I'm going back to my roots with this career mode series, and the last time I did one was with Williams, and to be honest, that was probably the most enjoyable career mode series I've ever done on any F1 game ever. So we're going to be doing a driver career mode, but don't worry, we're still going to be doing a My Team career mode on this game pretty much soon. I just don't know when I'm going to get that started, if it's during this series or after this series. Because I've got a lot of other content that I have planned on this game. But if a driver career mode series sounds good to you and you like what you see, then make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe for all things F1 23 content related. Can we get to 600 subs? We're literally 8 subscribers away from getting to 600. I know we can do it, and I really want to hit that milestone this year. I really want to make a statement as far as the content that I'm going to be providing in this year's game, both from an offline perspective and an online perspective, as far as, league racing, career mode, online ranked, gameplay with the new tracks and stuff. So look, if that's what you like, then hit the subscribe button and you win a cookie. But yeah, let's talk about this drive career mode. I was thinking about doing a My Team career mode, but with the lack of updates to the My Team career mode, I just thought, why should I waste another year doing My Team? I don't think a lot of people actually want to see My Team, because it hasn't really changed that much since 2020. So doing a driver career mode is actually a better idea for me, because I feel like it's just more enjoyable that way. And also as well, I think it might be more, enjoyable for you guys to watch as well. So as you can see, we're pretty much going through the settings right now before we get started. As you can see with the collisions as well, as far as the damage, we're going to go standard and reduced. We've literally sorted all the red flags, and we've also sorted all of the session options as well. So we're going to have short qualifying and a 50% race, and it's the reasons why I'm doing most of these things is just so I can enjoy the game. And I felt like with last year's career mode with F1 22 and how, just bad the AI were, that really drained me as far as doing, career modes. But I want to try and just enjoy this career mode as much as I can, and hopefully my enjoyment, reeks through my content, if that makes sense. So choosing our avatar, and as you can see, the avatars haven't really changed in this year's game. We still don't get full customization of our driver as far as our head and our hair. Unfortunately, we are from Britain. Well, I'm from, Liverpool, of course. My name is TomGorian, but obviously my first name is Thomas. So as you can see, my name is in the game. It's been in the game now for quite some time. I think since F1 2019 again. So Thomas is my name, and winning world championships is my game. Here are the helmets, and when I was playing the game, I didn't really look at the podium pass, so I don't really know if there's any other helmets. But obviously at the start of the game, the helmets that you get to select from are kind of basic. Now in this video, I will say this, I didn't really touch the helmet colors or like the helmet designs or anything like that. So they will be done in the next video of this career mode series. Same with the victory, radio calls, and the podium emotes, just basic and all that stuff, and you won't unlock the better ones until you progress in the podium pass. But yeah, that's literally it. Here are the contract negotiations, and as you can see, this is the pecking order. Surprisingly, Aston Martin are ahead of Mercedes, and Haas are in the midfield. AlphaTauri and McLaren are the slowest cars, and Williams are quicker than Alfa Romeo. And that's kind of interesting, because obviously the performance update, that won't be coming out for another couple of weeks. But This is it. MoneyGram, Haas, Formula 1 racing team. Team expectation claim position of the midfield. But as you can see, Red Bull, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Mercedes is the 4th, Alpine is the 5th best team, and then AlphaTauri is the slowest of the bunch. But the expectation of Haas is pretty much the claim position of the midfield as we enter this new era of Formula 1 and try and literally score points in the midfield. So what I would like from this series is to have, constant 9th or 10th places in qualifying and the race.
Great, that's everything we need. You can go back and edit anything we've done so far, and we'll come back here at the start of each season. But if you're ready to go, hit advance to head to Team HQ, and we can start our push to the top of Formula 1.
So as you can see with the teammate there, I literally went with Kevin Magnussen instead of Nico Hülkenberg. And as you can see, this is the main career mode hub. Still, not much has changed from literally the last couple of games with the car placement and all of the menus and all that stuff. And as you can see, here's the pecking order once again. Classification that Red Bull are the quickest car and literally Aston Martin are the 3rd best car. The first thing we're going to do in this drive career mode is literally do a level 1 perk upgrade to development feedback. This will give us 10% more resource points, and that does help, especially in the first season of career mode, because there might be upgrades that will fail, and there might be a lot of upgrades that we need on the car that will be expensive. So the best thing we can do is try to limit the cost of the resource generation as far as how much we need for a certain upgrade. As far as the upgrades are concerned, this is the first two I'm going to do. I'm going to do a cockpit weight reduction upgrade and then a aerodynamics front wing adjustment bracket upgrade. Actually no, yeah, that's the upgrade I'm going to do, an aerodynamics and a chassis. Now, it's time for the main event. It's time for the car reveal. There she is, the car that's going to make me world champion. And I'm not going to lie, that was an epic team reveal. That's actually better than what they've actually done in the last couple of years. However, what you're going to see now is the chassis upgrade, that fails, and as we head in towards the race, the aerodynamics upgrade also fails. So both upgrades before the first race of the season fail. And that's very, that's harsh, as we get an introduction to Francesco, the bald guy, in this career mode series. But now, let's go to Natalie Pinkham.
Hello and welcome back finally to the hustle and bustle of Formula 1. The F1 2023 World Championship is about to get underway. We cannot wait to get started. Last season saw the biggest raft of regulation changes in years, and we're excited to see more of that wheel-to-wheel racing. The big question is though, can anyone challenge the dominance of Max Verstappen and Red Bull? Well, all the teams have been working so hard to get ahead in a development race, looking not only at their own car, but those of their competitors. Thousands of engineers working hard back at the factory. We come to the racetrack and we focus on the 20 drivers at the pinnacle of motorsport. But it's important to remember this is very much a team game. And watching that technical battle unfold throughout the year will be fascinating as everyone looks to get to grips with these new regulations. Meanwhile, the F1 World Tour features all the classic highlights. Monaco, Silverstone, Singapore. Great to see all those iconic tracks back, but also a few surprises. Qatar is back after a year away, and the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix. The glitz and glamour of Vegas, flat out down the world-famous strip. I know all the drivers have been so excited about this one ever since it was announced. Okay, that is enough from me. Let's get cracking with the action.
Alright, so, first time in the car, and how does this game feel? Now, I will say this, the only laps I've really done on this game was pretty much 25th laps on the beta, and I also did around about 5, 6, 7 laps on time trial around Qatar before literally making this video. So, this part of the video where you're just going to be seeing me just do laps, so, practice was kind of weird. Now, I want to talk about the force feedback because I'm running a Logitech G923, and the force feedback feels very weird in a way. It doesn't feel like I actually have force feedback, just the wheel feels heavy. It doesn't feel like I'm getting any, force feedback as far as, high speed or low speed corners, but the wheel in high speed feels heavy and in low speed feels heavy, but on straight it feels really light. And another thing I've noticed is that the rear traction in this year's game is very inconsistent. Now, I want you to remember when all of the big content creators were literally saying, oh yeah, traction is much better in this year's game, you're going to see in this video that it's not really the case. And I had more issues with the rear on this video than the last 3 months on F1 22, as far as like corrections and just trying to, push the car to the limit a bit. So, literally, in practice, all I wanted to do was just get used to the game, get used to the physics, and try and get up to speed as quickly as possible. And as you can see, we are literally doing a race strategy. The 3 practice programs that were set for me was literally the race strategy, tyre management, and the ERS. And in practice, we only did the 2. We only did the race strategy, as you're seeing right now. This is the third and final lap. We're literally 1.5 seconds up on a lap. And also the ERS management. We do get all of the development boosts, and that will help out in the resource department. So this is the fast lap of practice 1. We're literally 7 temps up on the soft tyres with literally 4 minutes to go. And I just wanted to see if there was any major difference between the softs and the mediums as far as just like how they felt. And we do a 1:33.393 as we enter quick practice for practice 3. And to be honest, I didn't really care about practice 3. I just wanted to do a couple laps in practice 1 and practice 2. I must have done around about 10-15 in practice, so at least I'm used to the game a little bit as far as the Haas is concerned. I will say, as far as what the Haas does feel like in this year's game, very unpredictable as far as the rear. Like, some corners you can literally mash the throttle, and other corners, like you'll see in this video, you can't really mash it, otherwise you will lose the back end. The front is a little bit lazy as well, and I've noticed as well that you have to brake slightly a little bit more earlier with this car. Now, I don't know if that's, a Haas, if this is like a, a Haas thing where you have to upgrade the brakes or something, or if it's an F1 23 thing where braking is not as powerful as it once used to be on last year's game. But this is where the box are made, qualifying for the first race of the Haas Driver Career Mode Series. Expectations, I don't really know. The difficulty level is on 95, because I want really the best balance with the AI. Usually, in a career mode, I would go with 100, but with how the AI were, they was like, last year's game, they were so unbalanced as far as track to track, so I want to see if, 95 is a good balance. And after qualifying, I literally put the difficulty up to 97, and chances are, for the second episode, I will put it up to either 98 or 99. But I think 97 is the way to go, and you'll see why later on. So, qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and I don't really have any expectations. It is short qualifying because I honestly can't be arsed doing 3 stages. And as you can see, we're just slightly behind our teammate, Kevin Magnussen, as we enter the last minute of qualifying. And we're currently P13, P14, so that's realistically, where Haas should be in the pecking order as far as qualifying is concerned. But let's get this lap underway. This is the final hot lap of this video. So, entering turn 1, you want to be braking at around about just 100 meter boards. The car does feel a little bit more understeery in this year's game, I will say, especially in slower speed corners like turn 1 there. The back end as well, as I've said, is a bit unpredictable. Like, one corner it's very sticky, you can mash the throttle. Other corners like literally turn 4, like the car will just like slide a little bit in towards this S section right there. And I can't lie, like the S sections, like that part of the track is where I was literally gaining the most confidence, as far as, you know, where to put the car and how quick I can go. Hamilton goes quickest with a 129.4, so yeah, I mean, look, the track evolution is mad. We've also got a car ahead, which will help for a slipstream. I don't know who that is. I think that's an Alpine. I'm not really sure, but coming in towards the end and in towards the final sector, we're literally 3 times up right now, and this has been a good lap. So maybe we could challenge for maybe a low top 10 in this qualifying session. So let's see what we can do. This corner is very important, and as you can see, we've absolutely nailed that corner. We are now nearly 6 temps up with literally 2 straights to go. Entering the final corner, brake at the line, don't take too much keb. We haven't took too much keb, and we're very smooth and very patient with the throttle. We're going to get help with the car ahead with the slipstream. Across the line we go. Where are we? Where are we? We are 10th. We are 10th place in this race. Tenth place in the Bahrain Grand Prix. That is absolutely sensational. We've out-qualified our teammate Kevin Magnussen, we've out-qualified Lance Stroll, Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly as well, and we were so close to literally Esteban Ocon. So we're P10 in qualifying. Now let's score some points. Let's go to the race.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, Sainz, Leclerc, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Thomas, Stroll, Bottas, Magnussen, Gasly, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Albon, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. I'm joined by Anthony Davidson at the start of a new season, and it is a clean slate. Absolutely anything is possible right now.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Let's hope not. I don't really want any surprises or any nasty surprises in my debut F1 race. The goal of the first race is, I mean, when you're in 10th, I mean, the intention is to always score points, and you always want to, you know, score the maximum amount. But in this first race, you just want to keep it clean, keep it simple, you know, perform some decent overtakes, don't damage the car, and don't make a knobhead of yourself, and just finish the race. And that's the main objective I have today, just to finish the race and just to keep the car in one piece. Here's setup. I haven't really made any changes as far as the setup is concerned. It's a default setup. I've just made some configurations to the front wings and also the suspensions. Not much, but just I think it's like 2-3 clicks to the left. So that simply put, I can have a little bit more straight line speed from 10th place. The strategy. The simple F122 strategy, as I like to call, we're going to start on the hards and then we're going to go on the mediums towards the end, and then if the safety car, we could box for softs. Speaking of softs, here is the AI strategy, and it seems to be that there's a mix of softs and medium runners in this race, and I am the only one that is on the hard tyres. So maybe the AI knows something that I don't as far as the hard tyres. Maybe they're better at the end of the stint or at the end of the race when the track is at its best. So here we go, the formation lap, the build-up has begun, and as you can see, the formation lap is on the broadcast setting, and this will be this way for the entirety of the career mode. And there's confirmation, I am the only one on the medium tyres, well, on the hard tyres. So what is the expectations of this race? I mean, literally I've qualified in P10, so Anything less would be a very disappointing way to finish the race. I would love to score points for the first time in my career, but it's Formula 1. Anything can happen at any given corner, any given lap, and we could be scoring points one lap and then literally being lapped the next. So I don't know how the car is going to perform. I don't know how I'm going to perform. It's a bit of a mixed up grid. We're in P10. We've literally qualified ahead of our teammate. It's the first race of the Haas driver career mode. The first race on F122. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because I am. For 5 red lights! Lights out, away we go for the Haas driver career mode. And unlike last year's game, we've actually had a good start. We're going to hound Fernando Alonso. We're going to make it 3 wide as we change the camera angle. Yeah, I literally pressed the wrong button. In towards turn 1, we've got a warning with a collision with Fernando Alonso, and that is 4 illegal overtakes. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that's about. Apparently I overtook Fernando illegally, and now we've got a collision with George Russell, and now we are now wasted down into P13. So we literally had a good start, and we were P8, and now we are now in P13. So thanks FIA, thanks F1 for that absolute knobheadery. As we go down the inside of our teammate in towards this corner, and that is a massive statement as far as how I stand in the team. Kevin Magnussen might be the veteran driver, but here I am as a rookie, and I've just made him look like a complete and utter mug in front of all of the team. So that's a good statement. P12 on the beginning of lap 2 as we're sending down the inside of Valtteri Bottas, and notice how he did not turn in on me like in F122. He literally acknowledged me, and the AI have been improved in this year's game. Now, as far as the AI are concerned, are they quite easy to bully? I think so if you force the issue, but I think that was the problem with last year's game, how they would literally bully you even if you were alongside them. So I honestly think that the AI are better this way as we go down the inside of Esteban Ocon there. And yeah, we're now back in P10. So hopefully, if we don't make a mistake, we should literally be scoring points today, as the 2 Aston Martins are literally fighting for 9th and 8th. And Alonso is now ahead of Lance Stroll. So right now, in this stage of the race, I'm feeling myself right now. I'm going to send it down the inside of Lance Stroll, and we get the position for P9. And I'm thinking at this moment, with 97 difficulty, that maybe this difficulty is too low. Maybe the AI are slower, because I'm on hards at the beginning of a race, and I'm literally sending it like no man's business. So I'm literally in P9 right now. So I'm really enjoying this stage of the race. So coming in towards the end of lap 5 on towards lap 6, we've got Lando Norris in the McLaren. He qualified P7. Alonso is literally ahead of him. So we literally have ERS and DRS to overtake, and I'm actually going to try and see how powerful the DRS is. And I actually want to get 2 cars in one corner, so we're going to go down the inside of Fernando Alonso. We go too wide in towards turn 1. We're all over the curb, and we have to give way to Fernando and also Lando Norris as well. That was very risky. I got very greedy there, but I'm young, I'm a rookie in Formula 1. As I lose the back end, I literally correct it right there, but we make that move stick, and we're now in P8. So lap 6, and the next target is Fernando Alonso. I want to try and get him in the DRS zone, and that happens. Now that was a shock to me, I can't lie, that was a real shock. I did not expect the rear end to just snap out on me like that, I can't lie. But now that has literally ruined our race, simply because now we're out the points, and now the car is acting all inconsistent with the front end. The front end's being lazy, the rear end's being unpredictable, and that is the worst time to drive a Formula 1 racing car. As Oscar Piastri goes down here inside, we're going to try and fight it back in towards turn 4, and we actually make the move work around the outside. As far as like the differential and the brakes are concerned, I was trying to mess with it. I was going around about 57 to 59 on the front brake bias, and I was trying to mess with the differential. As you can see, I'm on 62%. I was trying to mess with it between 62 and 65, just to see what would work and how the car would behave. And I do believe that the higher the differential, the more unpredictable the back end is in slower speed corners. So maybe it's just the differential, I don't know, but I've literally only done one race on this game, so I don't really know. But yeah, that spin was really the ruiner for us in this race, because all we are doing now is literally battling our teammate, and we're battling Oscar Piastri for P11, as Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon are getting away with DRS. So lap 14, and as you can see, the front runners have already made their their pit stops in this race. George Russell goes past us. I tried to do what Alonso did to Hamilton, but that was an epic fail. So yeah, at this stage of the race, it's just depressing. I'm getting overtaken by all of the front runners, but as you can see, there's Max Verstappen on the right hand side, and Hamilton is literally about to overtake him around the outside. They're both, well, Hamilton is on mediums and Verstappen is on fresh hards. So there goes Lewis Hamilton, and he's ahead of Max Verstappen. So that's kind of weird how Mercedes are actually taking a fight to Red Bull in this driver career mode. But lap 16, we've played it slightly long, and now we're going to box for the medium tyres, and we're going to see if the mediums can actually do a better job than the hards. I think the weakness of this race car is definitely the race pace. Qualifying, I do have a slight understanding as far as the car and what it can do in the qualifying scenario, but I think we just need to work on this race car a little bit more, and I don't know where, but I feel like I will know in the next couple of race sessions that I do on this game. And as you can see, we've joined this absolute train of cars. We've got Yuki Tsunoda behind us, he's all over our rear end, and we're going to try and go around the outside of Pierre Gasly in towards 10-4. Even though we're on cold medium tyres compared to his warm hards, we actually make the move work as we're going to go on the curb around the outside, and literally through this section, this is where I feel like the front end just felt lazy in a way, and there's a lot of things that you can tell when you're driving a race car for the first time, and for this car it's definitely the fact that the rear is slightly inconsistent and unpredictable, and the front end is kind of lazy, even with a slight oversteer setup. So we're going to have to work on that, and I do believe if we did get the chassis and the aerodynamic upgrades for this car that I wanted to, then maybe this car would have performed better in race trim. I don't know, but look, we've got 5 laps left, we're in P15, now make that P14, so at this stage in the race I'm just figuring out, different types of front brake bias and differential settings, and I'm just trying to see what really works with this car. So now we enter the final lap of this race, and we're going to finish behind our teammate one way or the other unless he DNFs. And as you can see, Gasly comes out from nowhere with DRS, and he literally goes around the outside. We're going to fight it back. We actually make a little bit of contact there, however the contact is not that bad, and we retain the position. And it looks like we're going to be finishing in P13. Carlos Sainz got disqualified in a way, but speaking of disqualified, my rear end should be disqualified from F1 23 because that is absolutely horrendous. But yeah, George Russell wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. That's actually kind of mad. That George Russell in the Mercedes literally wins in Bahrain. But Guan Yu Zhou comes down the inside of the final corner. But from P10, it's P14 on our first race, and I'm a little bit disappointed.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
With that race performance, but you know what? What can you do? We tried, but on to the next one.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Bahrain, and a real champion's drive to take the win. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations A real team victory today and played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race today.
So George Russell takes the victory here at Bahrain. He takes the first race of the 2023 Formula 1 season, with Verstappen coming second and Lewis Hamilton coming in third. And that's what Mercedes needed after their very disappointing 2022 season. Mercedes are back. Russell has found his form after Brazil and he's taken the win here at Bahrain. And now Verstappen has an issue. Not only does he have to deal with a competitive Mercedes again with Lewis Hamilton, but now he also has to deal with George Russell as well. And we could get a 2007 season if history repeats itself. Russell, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Leclerc, Alonso, Stroll, Norris, Ocon and Piastri round out the top 10. Our race was okay if we didn't make that mistake, and if we didn't get cheesed by the FIA, we could have been in the lower end of the top 10 today. But you know, it's our first race and we brought the car home, and there's a lot of things to improve on for this race and also for the next one. But that's that for the first Driver Career Mode episode of F1 23. The game's out right now, so if you have the Champions Edition, you can go in and play it. First thoughts, I think it's better than F1 22 obviously, but time will tell as far as I can see. But thanks for watching. Make sure to leave like, share, comment and subscribe for more F1 23 content, and I'll see you all in the next video. In a bit.
HV on the beat.